Good morning, Mambo. Habari za asubuhi. Welcome to the adventures of Kivuli and Upepo. Rolling with the radicals. Today is Sunday, and I am transitioning from where I've been staying for the past week in this little hut, me and Wendy. I can show you guys kind of what I see. My computer. And I am getting ready to leave. As you may know from Instagram, I spoke to Eryk yesterday. I am really happy that I did because I was able to find some peace with leaving and going on this visa run. I was afraid that Eryk was sick or in need of some help, and I was assured that he this is just what he wants right now. It pains me, it hurts to know that he doesn't feel compelled to help our family, contribute to our family, ensure our safety, travel with us to a different country, protect us. It feels painful that he took money, and of course that means he's not going to offer any money to help, and that he just doesn't. I'm not going to do it, y'all. I'm good right now. I'm strong right now. So it just feels awful that he thinks about me and Wendy as a choice. He said that, and that's one thing I pushed back on, because he said, well, I just had to make a choice, and it's either like, this, what I'm doing now, or y'all, and I'm just choosing this. And I was like, we're not a choice. Like, we're not something that you can choose between. You already chose us when you married me. You chose us when we decided to have a baby. We already made that choice. So the choices that you make now in life are, how to do something, or how to compromise, or where to go, or what time to schedule it, or who to make music with. You don't choose between your family and whatever else you got going on. Just because you close your eyes doesn't mean we disappear. We're a part of you. We're not going anywhere. Just because you're doing this doesn't mean you're not hurting me. Just because you say we're getting a divorce doesn't mean that we're divorced. Like, you can't just choose these things. Okay. And there's another thing Eryk said. He said the last argument that we had, I said, if you don't want to come home, leave. Maybe that's the choice. Maybe I gave him that choice. But he said that It all felt very traumatic, what he was going through, like hearing those words, seeing me picking up Wendy from school, me leaving was like the most traumatic thing for him. But he said it felt so familiar too. Like he felt like he did it before, he's seen it before, he experienced it before. He implied that it when it happened before he was young, and maybe he was seeing it from a different perspective. Um, maybe he um, maybe he was living a life that he lived before. Maybe this life was his parents' life, and in that way, I feel like he feels like he's watching something burn. He's watching something crumble because he wants to know, like maybe he feels like paralyzed and like it doesn't matter what I do, this will happen, or what I don't do. I don't exactly know. I'm also a child of divorce, but it was different because I was about 6 months when my parents got divorced, and I was almost 2 when my mom married my stepfather. Um, so I grew up knowing my stepfather very well and never witnessing this kind of distress. Um, so I do think that him being a teenager, or a young kid, and remembering those times are coming back up for him now when his parents were getting a divorce. Um, I worked on a movie once called no Adult Children of Divorce, I think. Um, so maybe that's what's going on here. Okay. Whew. Okay. Next thing I want to say is, uh, if it's, people are asking me like, why don't I just come home? And the fact of the matter is, I can afford to live here. I can afford to have Vero, Auntie Vero, cook me meals every night. I can afford to have um, the ladies of my compound clean my home every week. I can afford to have my laundry done every week. I can afford to have Auntie Lily watch Wendy for the day, her nanny, every week. And that means I can afford to work on my dissertation and my work. At home, back in the States, I can't afford those things. It means that I would have to figure out some things that are going to be not as comfortable. Here I can be here, and Wendy can be taken care of, and I can work my dissertation. But I will, with that said, if I found a job that could hold me and Wendy down, I would take it, and I would come back home, um, and I would figure it out. I'm ready for the next phase of my life. I want to live comfortably. I want benefits, health benefits. I want dental and vision. I want a 401k. Again, I want I want these things, you know. I want Wendy to be taken care of. I don't want money to be a problem. Um, I want to be able to afford a certain lifestyle now. And I feel like it's hard for me to come back until that happens. So if you know any jobs, let me know. And then here is this. I received a phone call from Tyler Perry Studios asking me to return to work. Um, and then I received, after I said, like, okay, like, what, you know, what, how, when, where, all the details, and they were given to me, and I was ready to accept. I got a following phone call that said that that person who wanted to hire me has been told that they cannot hire me. And when asked why, they were not given any reason, explanation. When HR was called, they were not given any reason, any explanation. And and really, it's someone there who feels like they don't want me there and has the power to make that happen right now. I do think I know who that is. Should I say? I could tell y'all my theory. Uh, I, I've worked at TPS for off and on 10 years. Over the course of this 10 years, me and Mr. Perry have been talking about an archive, a place where I can organize the costumes and organize them in a way to ease accessibility and reuse. I am, everyone that knows me at TPS knows I am the organizer. Like, I love to organize. And it's part of, what I do. I'm an archivist. I'm a researcher, so this is my wheelhouse. Right before COVID, the last conversation I had with Mr. Perry, he approved this project. He approved a $40,000 budget, a team of 5 people, and 6 months' time. He told me, go ahead, get started, and talk to this person about the logistics as far as like paperwork. So I said, okay, that's great. I was super excited. I called on my friends and my family, and, I really think an archive at TPS will, I mean, there's no black production studio operating at the level of TPS, black owned, independently owned, with an archive right now. It says a lot about how we remember, and I have, that's my dissertation, right? That's what I'm actually writing about. But the person that was supposed to help facilitate that, the process, is the person that I think is blocking me from coming back, because I think that they don't, maybe for them it will be more work than they want, And they would really just rather, I mean, this is what he said from his mouth before, I'd rather just throw away all the clothes that we've used instead of trying to store them and organize them and figure out what to do with them. And but he said, but Mr. Perry won't let him, and that's the only reason why they're in the warehouse. So all of a sudden I was fired. No explanation. This person did not tell me to my face. This person, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because it was sudden. My supervisor at the time called me and said to me, Shady, this is very difficult for me, but because I think that you are a very great worker and I haven't seen you do anything wrong, but someone doesn't want you here at the company, and they called me and told me to fire you. And when I asked why, they said, we just don't, want her. And and he refused. He actually stood up for me. He said, well, I'm not going to fire somebody that you can't give me a reason why they need to be fired. I'm not going to change somebody's life that way because of this. Like, just somebody just doesn't want. And so he refused to fire me. He said no. So I don't know what's going to happen. Then I got a phone call from one of the higher ups in the company, someone who I haven't actually met before. And he said he's been talking to the president of the company, who is no longer, Tyler Perry. There's been a president of Tyler Perry Studios. And yeah, he said, yes, for some reason, someone doesn't want me there. For some reason. That's not a reason he can give. After that, I emailed the president of the company, and I asked for more of an explanation, and I was put in contact with the Human Resources Department, who did an investigation because there's supposed to be some type of third party, unaffiliated, right? That's just not true. But they did this investigation, and they said, actually, everyone we spoke to said that you were awesome. You did great work. You're a hard worker. That's how they know you. So what we've determined was that they just wanted to hire somebody for that position on this project right now. There's been a lot of flux in that department, and they just wanted to hire somebody else that they wanted to give a chance to work in your position. That means that it's not like you can't work here. It's just for this project. You can totally be hired again, and you're not being blacklisted or anything. Assured me. Okay, fine. So that means I can call my supervisor back and tell him that? Yeah, sure. So I did. I called my supervisor and I told him, and he was like, okay, awesome. I'm going to get you back on. And then he called me back and said, Shady, I don't know what's going on, but they're saying I can't hire you. So this was last year pre-COVID. Now it's this year, and this is a whole nother person who is now in a very powerful position, who wants me there, and they are fighting for me. And now in a time when the person that I've trusted the most doesn't want to fight for me and my family and our family, and someone's out there in the world fighting, the president of Tyler Perry Studios for me. I have nothing but gratitude. I have nothing but gratitude. I feel like the hard work that I've done, it's been recognized in just the fact that he's willing to have conversations with people at this company and really try to figure out how to get me back. That means the world to me. And I love you. Okay, so I said I wasn't going to do it. Anyway, subscribe and continue to follow this journey. We will be leaving Tanzania for a week. We're going to actually another foreign country. We're not going home yet. And I'll be back, I think. And until then, kwaheri. Well, I'll talk to you guys again. Please keep sending me love. Love you guys.